Welcome to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a show for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to find the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Here's your host, Billy Gwaltney.
Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. I'm your host, Billy Gwaltney. It's good to be with you as always. In this episode, we're going to cover the Ameritas Guaranteed Standard Issue disability coverage. I work with thousands of physicians across the country with their private specialty on occupation disability coverage. Most of the clients I start working with are in training when we begin, and occasionally one of the top carriers will offer their best coverage with the best definitions, with the largest trainee discounts, and completely waive any of the medical screening component. And that's a big deal. I'm an independent broker, and we have thousands of clients that are with each of these companies and that are top tier carriers, and there are only 4 of them. I've covered them in other podcasts. And none of these companies pay my overhead. And I just mentioned that to say that have approached me to say, hey, can you help us spread the word about this? And Ameritas has done this, and it's a really unique and powerful opportunity. So if you have the quote summary that I sent you, I'm going to walk through this briefly and happy to discuss your situation in more detail. But just to give you some food for thought as you consider and kind of think about, okay, what am I actually looking at here? So these are the quotes for the Ameritas Guaranteed Standard Issue Discounted Specialty Occupation Disability Coverage. And again, typically when one of our clients would want to secure their coverage, they have to be medically approved. As a trainee, that process is typically easier than attendings because most attendings are going to have to do an insurance physical to get coverage if they buy as an attending, which involves where a nurse would meet with them and do labs and measurements and so forth. But they waive that for trainees. But they're still asking you 25 or 30 medical questions, doing a script check, and there can be exclusions or ratings or declines. So you have to be healthy-ish in order to get it, at least from the insurance carrier's perspective. And when one of these carriers wants to kind of spike their growth or increase their growth sooner than later, it's pretty easy to do. They allow their best coverage with the same trainee discounts that are normally allowed for residents and fellows, and then just don't ask the 25 or 30 medical questions. Waive the medical screening part of it and allow them to be issued. There are a couple of gatekeeping questions. You cannot be currently disabled. You have to be gainfully employed at the location, the facility where they're allowing you to have access to this guaranteed standard issue policy. And you cannot have applied with any other insurance carrier. That is key. Because that is a deal killer. If you are at a location where Ameritas has a guaranteed standard issue policy and you apply with one of the other carriers or even with Ameritas through medical screening, that can blow your chances of ever having this. Okay, so that's the gate. It's a relatively low threshold to meet, but if you don't meet it, there's no way around it. So again, this requires no medical screening. No script check, there are no exclusions, and so it's the best coverage that they offer, which is what we're going to go through here. Again, happy to schedule a call with you. First, the discounted rates. Typically, they'll allow residents and fellows to purchase $5,000 a month of this coverage. If you're a fellow, you can get $7,500, and Ameritas will allow residents to get $7,500 also. You're not required to do that, and so what we send for the discounted rates when someone asks for them is $5,000 a month, and then $2,500 if you wanted to start lower, which is certainly an option if you wanted to do that. This is private portable coverage that you are then allowed to increase up to a maximum cap of $15,000 per month once you become an attending without any medical screening ever. The benefit period, the coverage is payable to age 65. There is a 90-day elimination period that goes with this. So if you're disabled in January, you get your first check in April. And then the policy would include what's called the cost of living adjustment rider. It allows the benefit to be increased once a claim is filed. So the cost of living adjustment, COLA, is an additional rider that if you become disabled in your 30s, and you're able to collect to age 65, and each year it would increase by up to 3%. It's going to float based on the consumer price index, anywhere from 0 to 3%, and it's going to compound. The consumer price index is the national gauge of inflation. That's average 3 or 4% each year. So you're going to expect it to be at 3% once a claim is filed. Okay. You can remove the COLA rider in the future if you wanted to. Okay. So that's not required to be there forever. But it comes with it when you start with their guaranteed issue policy. Okay. So again, in the email, I summarized the elimination period. I just talked about that. It's how long you wait until you get the first check. The COLA is the inflation protection that increases the benefit once a claim is filed. Guaranteed standard issue is the next point. This means that this coverage does not, again, require any medical questions, no exclusions for pre-existing conditions, and no exclusions for risky hobbies. Okay, that's a big deal. You're going to get their best coverage, and this is what we talk about next, the best discounts and definitions. The portable coverage includes their 20% trainee discount. You get that 20% discount on everything you purchase up to their maximum cap of $15,000 per month. And that is available through the benefit increase rider. Okay. The definition of disability is the best definition on the planet, true specialty, own occupation definition of disability that would pay if you cannot do the material and substantial duties of your specialty or subspecialty. That if you can't do those key duties, you get paid, period. That's the first part. The second part is that there's then no penalty for income you later earn doing something different. Okay, so if you're a surgeon and can't do surgery, you can then go do clinic or telemedicine and make an unlimited income, and there's no penalty to your benefit. If you're a non-surgical specialist, you can't go into clinic because you hurt your back, then that means you're disabled. You get your full benefit. You can then do telemedicine or virtual medicine and make or teach or consult, write a book, whatever you want to do. Make an unlimited income doing that, and there's no penalty to your benefit. Okay, it's the best definition you can get. The coverage also includes what's called the enhanced partial benefit or residual benefit. This is vital. It pays if you're partially disabled. So if you can do your specialty part-time but not full-time, then whatever the percentage loss of income you experience, they would pay that percentage of your benefit. Once it's at 15%, that's what triggers it. And whatever it is at 15% or higher, they're going to pay that percentage of your benefit. That's key. The third key element to this is the long-term recovery benefit. And that pays if you medically recover from a disability and return to work. But when you return to work, your income does not recover. And that's a big deal. We have clients that have collected for over a decade from a recovery benefit because it's very possible for someone to be out for 2 years or 5 years or 8 years or 10 years, be medically cleared to go back, but they're starting over. Whatever practice you built up before is evaporated. Whatever patient base you had, you're starting from scratch. And you may never be as productive and see as many patients or do as many cases. And so this recovery benefit is vital to have. There are only 4 top-tier carriers that offer these three, the true specialty definition, the partial benefit, and the long-term recovery benefit. And then wrap it all up with this benefit increase rider that lets you scale or increase coverage from your starting amount of either $2,500 or $5,000 or $7,500 as a trainee up to a maximum cap of $15,000, all with the same definitions, the same discount, and no medical screening ever. The policy's non-cancelable and guaranteed renewable. It's their best coverage. And anytime one of the top 4 carriers offers this and waives the medical screening component of it, it's just a no-brainer. You should do it because there's no requirement that they keep this forever. Ameritas evaluates these programs, they keep a pretty good eye on the metrics and the analysis of who's buying it and when and why and what and whatever. And if things get out of kilter and they decide they've got too much risk, once that spigot has generated enough extra water to water what they're trying to grow, they will turn that spigot down, and they turn it down by removing the guaranteed standard issue and requiring you to go through all the medical screening. But once you get this coverage, if they change the program, you don't care. They can never take it away from you. Okay, once you get the guaranteed issue, it's yours for life. Again, it's non-cancelable and guaranteed renewable. That means you can walk away at any time, but the insurance carrier cannot. Okay, it also means that the rate can never change and the definitions can never change. Okay, so take advantage of this while it's here. There are a couple of perks that Ameritas offers. Benefit advancement. They will pay you up to $500 towards any medical treatment for minor injuries. They don't charge you an extra fee for this. None of the other top carriers offer this. So if you ever go to urgent care to get stitches because you cut yourself hiking, they will pay you up to $500 towards that treatment, even if you don't pay anything out of pocket. You can make a profit on your injury, okay? It's just a perk. Another perk is right beside it called the good health benefit, and this is important. This for every year someone has a policy with Ameritas and is not disabled, which means that's their definition of good health, is having a policy and not being disabled. They will reduce the 90-day elimination period by 2 days. So that's going down 2 days per year with Ameritas. And again, no other carrier offers this, and you automatically get that even on their guaranteed issue policy. So the next step, if and when you're interested, is you fill out an intake form that Ameritas needs some personal information. You do it electronically through this link. It will take you probably 8 or 10 minutes. Then you e-sign the application electronically, and that's it. Okay, no other questions. Give anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks for them to process it. They deliver everything electronically, and we get that to you securely. And then you sign for it and pay the initial premium from that point, and you're covered for the rest of your career. Couple of key points. Again, quick PS, you need to buy this before you apply anywhere else. If you apply anywhere else, you cannot get this. Okay, that's a deal killer. Second PS is that who your broker is really matters. This is important. Again, Ameritas doesn't pay my overhead. They asked me to be a part of this. It's a no-brainer for you to consider it. That's why I'm promoting it and being a part of it. The role of the broker is as detailed as you want it to be. We help you make sure that you get the right definitions. We make sure that you get the maximum discount. We make sure that it gets pushed through without any medical screening. We help you when you're ready to increase coverage. We make sure that process is quick and easy. And then God forbid if you ever need to use this stuff and tap into it, we make sure that the check shows up. And we have had situations where clients tried to navigate that on their own and it didn't go according to plan. And they got me involved kind of in desperation mode, and we got them approved. We got it done. The experience that we have, we know the claims people. We know the people at Ameritas and these other carriers. They like doing business with us and my team. And so that is really important. The rate is the rate. There's no way to get this coverage any cheaper than what you see whenever I've sent this to you. This rate is quoted based on your age and your gender and your specialty. Okay. So your rate may not be $199 a month or $102 a month. It may be half that. It may be more than that. It just depends on the details of your situation. There's no way to get it any cheaper without having less coverage or removing the definitions. Okay. And so it's the best coverage you can get with the maximum discount. I think I've covered the whole email. I'm happy to discuss your situation in more detail. Welcome that. Message me here or text me at 704-270-2376. Again, 704-270-2376. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you as always for your time. I'm grateful for that.
Thanks for listening to the Cover Your Assets podcast, an Odd Conduit Media production. New episodes drop every 2 weeks. If you've enjoyed the conversation, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. For more tips and advice, visit the website and YouTube channel. Check the show notes for links. Join us next time for another episode dedicated to helping physicians like you get your disability insurance right and protect your way of life.